Alright guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be testing and ranking the most difficult heroes in Marvel Rivals. So I went through the trouble of putting them on my strike squad, and these three heroes are the most difficult heroes in Marvel Rivals. And this isn't according to any tier list or anything, this is based off of the official in-game difficulty rating. And Psylocke, Rogue, and Spider-Man, I guess Guan decided that they're the most difficult characters in the game. So that's what we're going to be testing today. And in the end of the video, I'll be ranking them to see if they are the most difficult characters in the game. And if they're not, I'll be assigning my own difficulty rating to them. Alright, so first we're going to start by playing Psylocke. And her kit is pretty basic. You know, she has her main attack, which is a psychic crossbow. And the way this works is every time you use an ability, for every hit you land, it will actually reduce the cooldown of any abilities that are on cooldown. So it's a pretty interesting kit. And then you have her dash, which she has two of. And she can use the dash as like a finisher or initiation into trying to get after an enemy. And she also has her stealth ability, which could be really useful for a retreat or just like juking around an enemy, is what I found works best for her stealth. Or even just traveling, because she does get a speed boost when she activates the stealth. She also has the shurikens that she could throw, and every time it hits an enemy, it does heal into her. So like mid fight with an enemy, you're face to face, you could just spam the ability in between your shots and it'll give you extra health. And honestly, it saved me a few times. It got me the final hit on an enemy. So she has a pretty basic kit. It's not exactly my playstyle, but it's more of a, if you like to like hang in the shadows and wait for opportunistic times to like get after an enemy, like a DPS or something, or even a support, preferably a support. I mean, help the team out. You're already playing Psylocke, kind of a underground character in my opinion. But if that is your niche, Psylocke is a good character to like run around with and go after squishy targets per se, like support characters. I mean, I didn't enjoy playing Psylocke that much. I will say though, she was easier than the other two. But it's arguable between Rogue and Psylocke which one's easier. But what I found best works for me when playing Psylocke is to just like sit with my team and the support and just spam hits until I get my ult, because her ult is, it's buck wild, dude. You save it up, it charges up super fast, and basically you can just go invisible, dash into your backline, and you'll basically wipe the whole backline. Granted, their healers don't have any crazy ults like they always do, but you know what, whatever, could work. So what I would recommend is honestly just playing with their team and then saving up that ult. I've seen memes about her ult. It's kind of like the only reason I'd play her, honestly. But Psylocke's pretty fun if you're looking to just goof around with friends or something. That's what I would recommend her for. Overall difficulty, I'd say it's more like a medium difficulty. It's more of a, is this really your type of playstyle? If you're patient enough for it, it's not much of a skill thing. It's just more, it's more if you really like to play in the back lines. Alright, let's talk about Rogue. So basically for her basic attack, she has a 3-hit combo where she'll swing one side, swing to the other, and then she'll double punch in the middle. What I noticed is that she somehow does more damage than Hulk's basic attacks. Why this happens is beyond me. I mean, you can see the difference, and you think that Rogue would do less damage than Hulk. But here we are. Buff my boy Hulk. Justice for Hulk. Please. Alright. Let's move on to her abilities. First, we have her defensive stance, where she'll basically use a Magneto style shield with like a certain amount of like health on it, or I think it's a timer actually. It's a timer. And she'll absorb damage, and it's not exactly like Magneto shield because it does have a certain amount of damage reduction it does, but it doesn't stop all damage. But the cool thing about it is you use it with another ability called the Southern Brawl. So basically, the Southern Brawl is only usable when in defensive stance. The damage you absorb goes to power a green bar that'll show up like right next to the cooldown bar and whatnot for the defensive stance. And once it's at max, it does bonus damage. So you'll use the dash while in defensive stance because you have to be holding it down. And then you use the dash, and then all the absorbed damage is just straight into the enemy. It's pretty powerful. It's a good ability if you know how to time it well to like absorb all the damage. Come to think of it, it's kind of like Iron Fist's parry if you know how to use it properly, except for instead of giving you health, it absorbs damage and you could turn it back towards the enemy. I guess if you really think about it, her defensive stance is really more of what I would define as a parry, but hey, that works too. And then we have her Chrono Kick combo. For this one, it's kind of like Winter Soldier's ult, the Kraken Impact, mixed with Wolverine's ult where you throw them up. So you'll throw the enemies into the air, and then you can use the kick to knock them straight back down. Hence the name combo, because you kick them up and then you can knock them straight into the ground again. And then your next two punches, your next two basic attacks become basically supercharged. What I will note is that on characters that can't get like control effect or CC'd, when you use this Chrono Kick, it won't kick him up and it won't stun him because technically it is a CC ability. But hey, you also get bonus damage or not bonus damage, bonus health. And your next punches, the supercharged ones, also become piercing, so you could go through enemies, I guess. Weird. Does it work? Yes. Am I complaining? I don't play against Rogue a lot, so no, I'm not complaining. But it exists. It's a pretty good character kit, honestly. And then you have your second to last basic ability, the Fatal Attraction. For this one, you basically, it's like taunting the enemies with White Fox's taunt, where she'll like charm the enemies and have them walk towards her for a bit. But while this is happening, you're also doing damage to them. So it's like she grabbed the controller out of your hand or your mouse and just slapped you across the face for no apparent reason whatsoever. Why this is an ability, I don't know. Cool ability, sure, I mess with it. I will note that since this is also a CC ability, if you have a Magneto shield or someone who will avoid CC, this ability won't stop him from taking, well, the shield won't stop him from taking damage. The shield will stop him from taking damage. Let me reword that. They won't get CC'd, but they'll still take damage. So you can just like dash into the enemy's line, use this one first, deal your damage, have their healers absolutely dazed. Which, if you are really good in your team, if your team has really good comms, I guess you could like plan it with like other ults to like get them all walking towards you and then absolutely dunked on by Iron Man's pulse charge. Just an idea. And then obviously you have her ult. This ult is so crazy for what it is. Basically, you activate her ult and you'll steal ults. It's really fitting for the character if you think about it. But what she'll do is she'll basically activate the ult, and then anyone's ult who's above 80%, their ult gets taken away and pushed straight back down to 80. So if it's like end game, you're thinking about it like, oh my gosh, we're about to win. Insert Jeff the Shark. His ult is very dodgeable now, but it's still a probability that he could screw up your entire game and make you lose. And then you can use Rogue's ult to stop the Jeff ult. Boom. They don't win anymore. Now you're winning. It's crazy. What I will note though, honorable mention to one of her team ups, the Gambit team up. It makes her fist explode like one of Gambit's playing darts cards. So it's kind of like if you threw a Gambit card at an enemy's forehead, and then it was just Rogue's hand. It does extra damage. It now does an AoE effect. So earlier in the clip here, when I killed one of their healers, if you notice, I killed 2 of them in one hit. That was because I had the team up. And honestly, the team up, it's kind of mid unless you actually have a Gambit on your team, because then it's continuous. You never have to like activate it. It'll just always be punching, because if you notice, I had the team up equipped and I kept forgetting to activate it every time I went after an enemy. So there's that. I mean, if you can remember to activate it, excellent team up. So that's Rogue, and next we'll be moving on to Spooderman. Okay, before we move on, I did forget to mention that Rogue has an ability absorption where she can just absorb the ability of whoever she takes down with it. So if you take down like a Magneto, she can use a Magneto shield. Pretty overpowered. If you plan it right, you can just dodge Iron Man pulse charge. Or even Magneto's ult himself. Pretty cool. Always remember that. Alright, let's talk about Spider-Man's kit now. Spider-Man is, honestly, I'm gonna say right now, if the other two are 5-star, this guy's 7-star difficulty. Like, whew. You'll notice while watching the background gameplay that there's so many times where the screen just like blacks out and then I'm back in my spawn room. Those are all the times I've died. I wasn't gonna sit here and make you guys watch through all the death cams and whatnot, but there's like, I'm looking at the timeline for the editing right now. There's like twice as much compared to the last 2 entries. Rogue and Psylocke, they don't even have damn near as much cuts as the Spider-Man clips do. I mean, this guy's so difficult. Like, it's crazy. But let's move on to his kit. He has his basic punches, which everyone knows. And then you have the web clusters, which pulls the kit together. Because with the they'll pull the enemies too, but we'll get there. So with the web cluster, you shoot at the enemy. It does damage, decent damage. You know, nothing too like game changing. It's not like Bucky's pistol, but it does damage. And what it also does is it puts a spider tracer on enemy. And what this does is when you pair it with the basic attack, it does bonus damage as well. So this is how it pulls the kit together. And then we'll just move on to his passives. Just because, you know, we're making our way up here from like the baseline stuff to like the most advanced. So he has Spider Sense as expected. It is Spider-Man. Is it too useful in this game? No. I mean, this game is basically a mosh pit with an objective. So if you need Spider Sense to find the enemy, maybe Spider-Man isn't for you. But hey, to each their own, yes? And then we also have his other passive, the wall crawl. I mean, this one's kind of self-explanatory. You could crawl on the wall, you could press your right trigger and then you run on it like Iron Fist runs. Except for Spider-Man can stop because he's Spider-Man and he won't fall off the walls. So, I mean, I guess you can like hide outside your spawn on the ceiling. I don't know why you would want to do this instead of getting into action. But it's a play. I'm not gonna throw more shade on the play, but it's there, you know. What you can also do is you could do a double jump, and while you're in the air above an enemy, if you look down, you use your attack. It also does like this attack where you like punch down at them with like your fist together. It's weird. It does bonus damage though, so yay to that, yes. And then you also have your amazing combo, which is just the uppercut for an enemy. It does extra damage to enemies with a spider tracer as well, and it's a CC effect, so if you can stun them with CC, they'll be stunned while you're doing it. It'll stun them for like 2 seconds. No, 2 is a lot in this game. This game makes you really realize how long a second is, or even a minute. But it'll stun them for like half a second, maybe a second. I don't really know exactly how long, but we'll stun them. It'll stun them. And then you get over to the part that gets a lot of people annoyed when you play against Spider-Man, the get over here ability, where if you shoot an enemy who isn't tagged with a spider tracer, it'll pull the enemy towards you. So if you're hanging over the out of bounds for the game, you can just pull an enemy, throw them into the abyss. You don't even need to punch them. They just die. A sad death. I've died to this before. It really gets you mad, especially if it's like overtime. It's like, dang, you're gone. Because there's not much saving you from that unless you're like Iron Man, I guess. I mean, even then, I feel like Iron Man can get chucked down there. And then if you tag them with a a spider tracer, it'll pull Spider-Man towards the enemy. So it's kind of like 2 abilities in one if you kind of think about it. But hey, it works. And also, if you have the spider tracer on them, you also do bonus damage with your basic attack and the uppercut, so you could combo it together with the get over here ability. It's pretty interesting. Works well if you know what you're doing. And then Spider-Man also has the web swing, which is like his basics. Everyone knows Spider-Man has web swings. It would be like imagine if Venom had this and Spider-Man didn't. It's kind of expected. And then you have his ult. And the way I like to describe this is it's like Iron Man's pulse charge but weaker. So it's not like a one hit, but it'll kill any supports because it's also a CC, so it'll just wrap them up. And then you also pair that with Doctor Strange's ult, because they can't move now. They're just sitting there, waiting to perish to your ult. It's an overpowered ult. I don't play Spider-Man, but if I did, I would be looking forward to his ult all the time. So huge skill ceiling on him, obviously, because none of this is like easy to do, especially in a video game, more or less in real life. I mean, if you're Spider-Man, bro, there's too much crime going on, bro, because you ain't doing something right with all this crime. But hey, that's Spider-Man's kit. Pretty interesting character, really difficult, huge skill ceiling, really good ult though. And he also has a team up with Venom, where he just turns into an orb of damage basically. I don't know what other way to describe it, but I just noticed that a lot of people are using it. It doesn't do too much damage, honestly. Alright, now we're gonna wrap up the video. So let's see here. Difficulty. I would say Psylocke was in the middle between Rogue and Spider-Man. She wasn't too difficult, but she wasn't too easy at the same time. I would say Psylocke definitely deserves like maybe a 4 difficulty. I mean, her kit isn't too like hard to comprehend or understand. It's not too complex. So I would say like 3 or 4. I'm leaning more towards like 4, honestly. Yeah, more towards like 4. She isn't too difficult, but she ain't too easy to play either. So that's Psylocke. Now, Rogue. Rogue definitely is not a 5-star difficulty. Like, it's more of a just take time to learn how she plays. There's not much like crazy skill behind it. Cause like, look at that. It's more of like know how to combo your abilities together, you know? So, I would say Rogue. Jeez, this is like a 3-star. She is not 4-star, or yeah, she's not 4-star or 5-star difficulty. This is 3-star. I mean, I could see someone trying to debate it up to 4, but she's definitely not 5, and I don't think anybody's disagreeing on that one. Rogue is definitely a 3, in my opinion. Now, Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man. This guy. 5. Instantly 5. Whole other level. This wasn't even enjoyable for me to play. Like the other two, I could like find my way to play him. Spider-Man? No. No, this guy, absolutely not. I did not enjoy playing this guy at all. It felt more like a punishment to play Spider-Man, honestly. 5-star difficulty. Immediately. My proficiency? 0. 0. That, not even 2. 0. 5-star difficulty. This character sucks to play. Unless you can master him, or you want to take the time to master every character in the game, Spider-Man's going to be your biggest barrier. But once you get through, he's probably one of the best characters in the game to play. Definitely deserves the difficulty marking. Now, is there other heroes that would deserve 5-star? Nah, that's not Helen. Angela. This character. This character is like so niche. Being able or enjoying this playstyle is so much more niche than Psylocke's. Like, I've not seen one good Angela player. Like, I don't know how people play this character. I would say Angela deserves 5 stars. Any other 5 stars? 5 stars. Who would I give a 5-star difficulty to? Iron Fist is definitely not up there because his kit is so quick and easy to learn. Hawkeye. Would I say Hawkeye is 5-star difficulty? No. But I would say his skill ceiling is pretty high as well, because you have to be able to hit your shots. If you can't hit your shots, you're fried. Well, that's about it. I don't think there's any other characters I would give a 5-star difficulty to. I mean, it's really hard to pick a character for 5-star. Oh yeah, Squirrel, 100% 5-star difficulty. Hardest character in the game, honestly. Anyways, that's gonna wrap up today's video, and if you ever see a Squirrel Girl out there, just know they're the most skilled player in the world. And yeah, like Lord Squirrel Girl, you're fried. Most skillful player in the world. Alright, GG boys. I'll catch you on the next one.